Mitis, and today I want to tell you about one strategy that will make a big, massive difference in the way that you feel during these very, very challenging times. So, at the moment, there's a lot of disharmony, there's a lot of attacking, there's a lot of name calling, there's a lot of differences in opinion, there's a lot of people feeling that they are right, a lot of everything that's quite negative. And being human, I'm not going to say that I plead completely innocent to all of that. That about a month ago, I felt like I was engaging in some of that behavior as well before I had to step back and say, hey, you know, this is not who I am. I'm not that person that behaves in this way. And so I like to talk to you about one particular strategy that has helped me immensely over the years in situations like this. So if you are listening, please put a comment in there so I know that you're listening. And if you do hear this video at a later time, please put hashtag replay so that I know that you have heard it at a later time. So tell me where you are, where you're from, and I'd love to hear from you. So just put a comment there that you are listening and where you're from. Or if you're hearing it later on, just say hashtag replay. So about 25 years ago, I was suffering from depression and chronic anxiety. And that was because I was trying to navigate my way through a very difficult time in my life. It was a time when I was going through the divorce of my first marriage, and there were a lot of external pressures that I wasn't coping with. And that was because there were a lot of shoulds in terms of what I was told that I should do or I shouldn't do. And it was really rising above that. Hey, Rhonda, good to see you, beautiful. It was rising above that and not really having the internal resources at the time to do that. And so I underwent quite a bit of therapy at the time. And that therapy did include hypnotherapy as well, of course, and that's why I'm a hypnotherapist today. And so I'm quite grateful for the fact that I did experience depression and anxiety 25 years ago, because it means that it allowed me to find an alternative and another way. At the time, I was offered antidepressants by many doctors, and I wasn't interested. I knew that I didn't want to take drugs, and I just knew that there was another way, that I didn't need to take medication. Now, this is not slurring anybody who's on antidepressants, no judgments at all. Everyone's journey is their journey. That's why I've got that sign there, trust your journey. Everyone's journey is their own, and it's all good, and there's no good and there's no bad. It just is. Whatever is, is. And so if you've chosen to take antidepressants for whatever reason, full strength to you, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, it wasn't right. I didn't want to take drugs. I didn't want to have the side effects. And I just knew that in my inner being that I was able to find a way to overcome this some other way. And so that some other way was a combination of therapy and hypnotherapy. And whilst I was in hypnotherapy, I had this realization. And the realization was that I don't have to convince other people of my point of view, because at the time I was this person who was quite, if there was a social gathering and someone didn't agree with me, it ended up being into a heated argument. I was not the compliant, complicit person. I was that person who was like trying to convince everybody of what I believed in. And this would bring some angst, not only amongst myself, but people like my husband. It would bring angst amongst others, because it was like suddenly there was tension in the air, because it went from a social discussion to Helen trying to convince others of what she thought was right, because I had such values and such strong values, and I was so adamant about my values, and I wanted everyone to know that this was the right way. And this didn't keep me in a really happy place in terms of almost an intense tension existed when I had that kind of energy about me. So when I discovered that I don't have to convince other people of my beliefs, it was huge. It was like, wow. It's almost like if I'm trying to convince other people of my beliefs, it's like I'm giving them junk mail in their brain. They don't want it. They never asked for it. so don't give it. It's a different thing if someone's asking for it. You know, they're asking for something. They're subscribing to you in some way. But you don't need to convince other people of your beliefs. So here's the deal for what we're doing at the moment and what's going on with COVID-19 and what's going on with so many different opposing polarized groups, pro-Trump, anti-Trump, pro-mask, anti-mask, pro-life, you know, pro-freedom, anti-this, pro-that. We're all in these different little groups. All of us, we're all aligned, different little groups, and we all think we're right, and we're all, you know, thinking everyone else is wrong. This doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good when you have this absolute belief that not only are you right, but you need to convince other people of your belief system. So here's the big message. It's impossible for you to convince other people of your belief system. They have a belief system that will be reinforced by whatever they choose to look at. So if I believe, as an example, that I'm a kind person, I will find lots of examples that will confirm that belief. Lots of examples. But if I believe that I am disempowered in some way, or that some people are taking advantage of me, then I will find lots of examples that will support that belief. Whatever you believe, you're going to find evidence to support that belief. If you believe that we are going through a conspiracy, you know, the biggest conspiracy of all time, you will find stuff that will support that belief. If you believe that this is a very dangerous period of time and that we all must wear masks, you will find studies to support your belief. And it doesn't matter what you believe. If you believe that Trump is the most awesome leader in the world ever, you will find evidence to support that belief. If you believe that he's an idiot, you will find evidence to support that belief. It doesn't matter what you believe. And guess what? When other people show you their evidence, you're going to disregard it. You're only going to regard the evidence that is brought to you to support your own belief system. So stop trying to convince other people of your own belief. It's just not going to work. It's not your job. We've got mechanisms and systems and structures to make sure that, you know, that happens. So if it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel good to engage with other people. I know that in a negative way. So I know that when this first hit, you know, in terms of COVID and everyone was expressing their different belief systems on social media, and when I would support one way and not support another way, it just didn't feel good. It made me feel sick. So I stepped away from that. I watched myself and I went, no more. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to, buy into one belief system, and denigrate somebody else for their belief system. I'm not going to do that because that's not who I am. That's not the person that I am. So my request for you is, please do not try and convince other people of your beliefs. It's going to make no difference. They're going to believe what they're going to believe. The only thing it's going to achieve is that your energy is going to dip because your frequency and your vibration and your positivity will dip. You're not going to feel good. The people that you're talking to are not going to feel good. And then there's negativity and density in our environment that we all have to navigate our way through. So how about we just spread positivity and we just allow people to say what they want, to believe what they want, to think what they want, and just let it be. Because it's okay, it's all good. Let's stop seeing things as bad and good, evil, you know. It just is. Everyone is on their own journey. Everyone is on their own journey. And whatever that journey is experienced by them. So it has to be good because it's their journey. And it's what they see. And no amount of convincing is going to change that. So the number one secret to navigating this time is don't convince people of your point of view. Just let them be. And don't get upset when they don't agree with you, because we can't all have the same view. We've all been brought up differently. We've all had different values. We all have different ways of looking at things. We all have different experiences. Some of us are not as trusting because things have happened. Others are more trusting because things haven't happened. It's all different and it's all good. And so whatever that is, just allow those people to hold on to their belief systems and just send them love. If that's been helpful, just put a comment down below. I really appreciate it. Sending you love from my heart to your heart. Mwah.